match time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CROSSFIRE IEM Expo Invitational 2018. It's a thrilling day with 4 teams in it fighting through a double elimination bracket. The winner, of course, will be our champion and winning this, and maybe it's not going to go quite as everybody predicted. So far, Penta Sports have guaranteed their place in our grand final, which will be the game after this one. Penta will be in that grand final. Who are they going to face? Well, like I say, it's a rematch now of one of our first games today. That's just how it can work in a double elimination bracket. So, earlier on, we had XG play the reigning 2-time world champions from China, and that match went 10-1 in favor of Super Valiant Gaming. XG just fought their way back through the losers bracket and have knocked Flipside Tactics out, which is no small feat. Meanwhile, Penta went and beat Super Valiant Gaming, and that's why they're in the grand final. So, the winner of this will face Penta in our best of 3 grand final. The loser of this is done for the tournament. It is XG, the qualified team from Europe, who showed us all an amazing comeback in that last game, and they're playing Super Valiant Gaming, the 2-time reigning world champions from China, who have been shown that maybe there are a few weaknesses in what we thought was otherwise completely impenetrable armor. XG and SV for a place in the grand final. Over to our desk with Lee, Kyle, and Jordan.
Thank you very much, Matt. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the loser bracket final. That's what we're going to call it. That's what it's going to be, because that's where they are. Losers. Super Valiant. Didn't expect this to be happening,
no.
But they are up against XQ Intense once again.
Yeah, who's going to be the winner of the losers?
Well,
that's the real question.
Have you got your shoe ready?
No, because SV's going to win. I mean, lose and then win. But you know what I mean?
That's where you're going to. That's where you think it's going. I know the maps. Do you know the maps?
No.
Okay.
It's a secret.
It's a secret.
Is it sub-base? Because then I might change.
No, it's not.
Yeah, well, then we're good.
Oh, that was the only one.
Actually, well, I mean, hang on. Let's hold the press. Maybe if it's port as well, I might change.
No.
Okay, well, we're good then.
Yeah. So we just saw actually SV watched that and went, yeah, we're banning sub-base. Thank you very much. We're not playing you on that. It was a Mexico ban once again, coming out this time from XQ, which does mean we ended up on
Anchor?
No.
Damn.
Black Widow.
1 out of 2.
Black Widow. Yeah, 1 out of 2. Either way to go. Anchor was obviously where they played, and it was 10-1 last time. They didn't want that again, but they left it open. It does mean they end up on Black Widow, which actually I think is okay.
I think it's great
For XQ.
I was going to say for Super Valiant.
Well, I mean, it's great for Super Valiant because it's probably their home map. If you can have a home map, really. I'm sure you can have a home map, but it's kind of their home map.
Yeah, I think it's a map that they're ultimately comfortable on, and really it's going to be intense in a position basically like they were in the first match. They're going to have to try and get an early lead, otherwise I just see the steamroll coming through and taking them out here.
I think it's good what we heard from Thunder, and it's pretty much echoed the words that we said ourselves. You know, they had 3 guys, never been on LAN before, and there they are on a stage against the world champions, 2 times world champions. It's expected that there was nerves, right? But they've just gone and win against Flipside. So now they're like, you know what? We've got nothing to lose now. We've already been beaten resoundingly by these guys. We've just beaten Flipside. What have we got to lose? Let's throw our all in this.
Well, I guess that what they have to lose is if they go and lose this match 10-0, and then, you know, that's kind of even worse than what happened. So that would be worst case scenario here for XQ. But let's see if those nerves have dissipated a little bit after their few matches that we've seen so far on the stage. But not yet.
Remake.
Not yet.
Remake, yeah. I was going to say, either Simidar is going to go 1v5, or we're going to have a remake. That's how it's going to go. So I guess something's just happening here. It does look like it's on the side of XQ, judging by the fact he's just bounced down. Okay, headset issue. There you go. He's got his headset thing. Yeah, how? How can they have a technical issue when they just played?
I don't know.
With your headset. Did you just pull the headset out in between and just like plug it back in again? I thought it would be super
Pulled it out and plugged it into his phone, started listening to some music in the break.
That's a good call. 20-minute break, so they could have had it. You're right.
I wonder how music goes in those kind of headsets.
Well, they've got in-ears. Right? They've got in-ears.
Yeah.
That's where it is. That's where he's plugging in.
Yeah.
The noise-cancelling part's just white noise blasting over the top of them, so they don't hear us.
Yeah.
Big gobs. But so Simidar just sorting his machine out. Seems happy now. Get himself back on his machine. TeamSpeak. I don't know what they're using actually really these days. Could be Discord, of course. Any sponsors? I should better check.
Nah.
Don't want to put my foot in it.
You know, actually, one interesting thing that we were talking about a little earlier, we kind of glossed over, was have a look at these mouses here, or these mice, however you want to say. Very old I don't know what to say. Mouses?
Mice.
I'm going to go with mouses.
No, mice.
Anyway, these very old mice, all these Crossfire players, they tend to use the big Microsoft mouse.
The big old Microsoft belly.
And when we were at the grand finals last year, they gave us one of them as well, and it was like a throwback for like 10 years ago.
Microsoft Intelli-5s, yeah, they're really, really popular. I guess that's probably why the Steel series is probably a similar shape to it, I would say. That's what I want to say anyway. I'm gonna go with that. Sadly, the start has not gone quite so well for XQ this time around, but they get themselves a quick double. Yes, Timida, can he go big? No! 18 shuts him down. 18 was huge against them last time around. Squishy now in a 1v3 and in a really tricky situation. So caught in connector.
Wow.
Oh my word! And 18 comes out on top.
Make it look so easy. How?
How? Is it not
I don't
fair?
understand. You know, like, no one else hits that shot. But 18's like, oh, I've got no HP. I'm going to peek anyway. Have a bullet in your head.
Yeah, I got nothing to lose. Why not just peek with my deagle? Why not? Why not? But that's a worrying sign for me. That's a manner of confidence for Super Valiant as I throw him a pen away.
Don't need that anyway.
Nah. Well, I'm going to mark the score down 10. 0. Ooh.
Whoa.
Oh. No,
I'm on board with that.
I don't think so. I think XQ have got a chance of picking some rounds up as Emzin does find the hole. That's the sniper coming out though for Emzin, so he manages to take Thunder down. So he's going for that duel once again, Thunder. Not sold on it. We'll see how it works out for him. WQ picks himself up one, Hank finds another. But Fans gets a small reply, a little glimmer of hope there as N9 gets tagged down. Quiet tournament from M9, I think it's safe to say, but 18, he seems to be quite happy playing against XQ.
Yeah. I mean, Emson had a really, really strong performance in that first match as well, but really it was all 18 for Super Valiant when they were playing up against Penta, but he wasn't quite able to get enough done. This time, the round starts off with a kill from XQ, and Thunder and Squishy getting involved, so that's a good start. Super Valiant, the trade's not there. 2 versus 5, this might be the first round on the board for XQ.
Well, we'll see. Imzin 3-0 so far as he finds Thunder, goes hunting, and 9. Time for him to show up. He hasn't really delivered in Katowice so far. Gets himself a simple headshot on Lunas. simple, Jordan. That's what that was. That's all you can see. The only part you can see is the head. So
easy.
If you hit it, it's a headshot. Easy.
You know,
does it.
What I find so amazing about SV is, like, they're not even going together. You just see N9 charging in there on his own. No possibility for a trade if Emson's so far away, but he doesn't care.
But this is where you can get caught out, and this is where I feel they did get caught out by
the over-aggression.
Over-aggression, overconfidence. It works sometimes, you know, and you should be crazy aggressive, and it seems to be working here. I was about to say, how is Emzin not dead already? Because I saw Squishy coming around that corner before he even flicked around. N9 though, okay, 1. Can he get 2? No, can't quite work it out. 2 in the round though for him. And finally, XQ pick themselves up a round, and they're going to be looking pretty happy about that. 2-1.
Bit earlier than last time.
Kyle, do you want to join in the conversation?
He's just enjoying
He's just enjoying it, watching it play out here.
I mean, right now it's really looking like intense. They're just playing a lot more confidently than we saw in their first matchup. You can tell they're definitely warmed up and ready to go for this one. Just by the way they're playing, I don't think we would have seen something like that long A push in the last round onto Emzin in that first match. But now you can tell they've definitely noticed that they need to play a bit more aggressive in these situations, and it could give them a bit more potential to take this one here.
Well, I mean, they always say you learn nothing from winning, everything from losing. A 10-1 loss is certainly something to chew on, and it may tilt quite a lot of teams, but they've come back very nicely. Thunder goes down to Emzin once again. His challenge seems to be working out well for him. Fans gets a 1-for-1 trade as Ank picks up the kill in the end. Squishy, another trade, back and forward. Emzin down, but the spray from Ank switches out to the Deagle. Why not? Just pop around the corner there with your pistol. 3-1, Super Valiant. I think they're in a hurry to get to the final here.
Yeah, well, as they should be. They know they've already really steamrolled this team, and they should, in theory, be able to do it again. Black Widow is the map that Super Valiant is known to be good on. So I still feel like this favors them, regardless of whether we're on Ankara or on Black Widow. So far, so good, really, for Super Valiant. Yes, they've dropped that one round, but realistically speaking, every other round has looked very, very confident for them, and they've started off this one as well with an initial pick. So 5 versus 4. Super Valiant continuing their good run against XQ so far today.
Oh, here we go. Simina finds Ems in. Okay, trade 1 for 1 there. So Simina decided to go with the sniper this time instead of Thunder. So we'll see whether that's worked out. Whether he's picked it up, that flick there from Hank, that was dirty. Takes him down, and poor old fans left in a 1v4. Can't take them down in the end. And it will be another round for Super Valiant. I think we can't underestimate the fact that Super Valiant just lost that game, faced a giant backlash from the Chinese social media. I saw them all in the player area. They're all on the phones. They're all looking at stuff. So they're all well aware of what's just happened. We just had a quick chat with Peppers and saying, oh my God, they're going to get trashed on social media. And we knew it was going to happen. So while XQ have like just picked themselves back up, took down Flipside, here we go again, we get a challenge against them. Super Valiant are in supreme anger mode, and they are showing that way, it seems, because as you mentioned, they're kind of playing individually. They're not really playing as like individual, you know, doing your set piece setups and busting through a 4-man push with set flashes. They're just kind of blitzing through at the moment. Finally, they've slowed down, and we're finally seeing a long A push with 4 setup.
And this is really the SV you have to be afraid of. They're not afraid to take any aim duel, and this is going to be a huge statement, even looking ahead potentially towards Penta here, but they're running into a little bit of trouble so far on the A push.
Great little peek from fans there. Doesn't work out the second time of asking, though, but Simina has managed to get Hank down, so it's a numbers advantage for XQ briefly. As 18 hops, skips and jumps, gets himself up around. Lunis with a 0-5. He's sat ready and waiting. There goes the flash. Does manage to peek around the side. Gets a 9 down there, but it wasn't a trade that went so advantageously. S18 drops down. Squishy didn't know where the hell he was coming from. 8-1 for 18, but he will go down. Simina gets himself a second round for XQ.
Yeah, and N9 hit an incredible flick actually onto Loons, who was coming out of that window. He got taken down by someone else though, so it could have been a bit of a messy situation for SV had he not been traded out. Regardless, XQ do come away with the round victory, 4-2. So far, still not too bad here for SV, but a lot of damage coming across there from Squishy. He does get overwhelmed. He's done a huge amount of damage there over 2WQ and N9, and we are starting to see the frags come out here. Simina gets a triple kill. And SV left reeling a little bit now after that last round.
Stopped them dead in his tracks there. As you mentioned, Squishy did a really good job of holding them up throughout the flashes, the smokes, the grenades, just about everything he could to try and stop them dead in their tracks. Bought time for Simina to get in position, and now the rest of XQ are here, and we could be looking at a 4-3. Suddenly, it looked like SV were going to run away with it like a steam train out of control, but it's not the case, and XQ get themselves a third round on the board, and SV have to take note of what is happening here.
Yep, definitely. I think SV needs to go back to the strat book a little bit and figure out what they want to do, because XQ is certainly giving them a run for their money right now.
Yeah, and right now it's really shown the difference between the first match and this one, that intense. They're not afraid to go for control plays here, and I don't think SV was necessarily ready for that. I mean, in that last round, they went for the control towards the B bridge, and they were able to come out on top. Right now, they're really sort of questioning where that next control play is going to come in, but it looks like intense. They want to control Cat this time around.
That's something they've been struggling with so far. Round after round, 18 has been lighting them up, but Simina definitely getting himself a number of frags on the board, and everybody really starting to slowly step up and find their feet for it. XQ intense now. They're going to try and push through. Simina waiting, but look at this surprise for Ank if he pushes around. There's 3 of them going to go in this push. They're all going to come around, and it's going to be perfectly played. Thunder gets himself a quick double trade, but 18 comes in, responds, but Lunes in the end swings in, and Emzin finds him. We're down to a 2-on-2. Simina, who was down at double doors, backs away, joins Squishy, gets around the side, but he's picked off by WQ, and now the veterans are there. WQ and Emzin to close out the round against Squishy.
What a crazy passage of play. Emzin spotted out by Squishy, but he gives away his position, and had he been a little bit more safe on the trigger finger, could have potentially turned into something for him. But now 2v1 against 2 of the most experienced players on this roster. In fact, in Crossfire in general, this is a very tough ask for him.
Yeah, WQ's holding the angle. Squishy's trying to sneak up. Now he sees him. Now he's pinned. He's got nowhere to go, and they're just going to double pincer him. Double peek maybe. WQ does get flashed up. Emzin's going to try and go for the drop down. Time is ticking.
Well, they don't need to, though. They don't need to do anything. They just need to wait.
Just delay him. They are going to go for the peak, and look at that. It's just a pincer move from the two veterans, and they time it so well.
It is still a nice situation for Intense to be in. I think it's generally a blacklist-sided map, and they're not too far down in this one, just a couple rounds behind. So it's definitely a situation where they could work their way back into it if they play their cards right, going into their blacklist side. But Intense, they're going to be going for the push here. Again, going for control plays every round. They're going to go for that A-long control this time.
Pretty critical round in the grand scheme of things here, this last one. If it goes 6-3, you think SV have done pretty well, but 5-4, XQ are in with a real good chance. Double kill coming out for SV there. WQ and Emsen chiming in with one apiece, and that does put a player advantage in the hands of SV, not to mention the fact that they've gotten control of the bomb site very quickly as well. And XQ now tasked with what should be, in theory, a fairly difficult retake, all three of them coming from the one direction. They've been spotted out by Emsen. 18 lurking and looking for another frag. Will get one for himself. It's just Loons left alive, and he is taken down at 6-3. Super Valiant the first half, leaning on their shoulders.
Such fast reaction time there. Watching 18's Thunder comes around the corner. It's like almost the split second. I'd love to know, test the reaction speed of some of these guys, how quick they can click as soon as they react to someone peeking around the corner. Not only that, obviously the accuracy they show. 6-3 though, Super Valiant. Expected first half lead from them, I think, but XQ Intense, you know, they was in danger of running away from them, but they did manage to pull those 3 rounds back, got it to 4-3. Unfortunately, couldn't close it out. Super Valiant almost stepped it up once again to another gear.
Yeah, and Intense, they've done a better job this time around, but they still have their work cut out for them. They can't afford to let SV get an early lead going into this second half. I mean, they're already up by 3. That 7-3 start would be huge for SV's momentum to close this one out. Intense, they really need to win this opening round and get that momentum on their side early going into the second half. And Blacklist on Black Widow is really a good potential half to make that happen if they get an early start here.
Similar sound issues once again, it seems. Trying to sort out whatever the problem is. So a remake at half time. So remember the score's 6-3. Still Super Valiant. Just those 4 rounds to reach the finals. Of course, Penta awaiting the winner of this game. XQ Intense got a bit of work ahead of them here as they move on to the blacklist side, the attacking side, to see what really they can do. Simino's impressed me.
He has. He's definitely looked good throughout, not just this match, but the previous as well. Obviously, the first match was kind of a write-off there for XQ, so you can't really read too much into that one. I think on the other side of the coin for Super Valiant, it's been 18 that's been the pick of the bunch for this tournament so far, but Emsen was good in the first matchup. Had some okay moments in the last half as well. Let's see if anyone else is going to decide to step up for either of these two teams. We do head into the second half. SV up 6-3, but now moving over to the global risk side. And XQ, one must be said, still within the realms of possibility of them coming back into this map.
Squishy trying to fake it, peeking around the corner there. Trying to draw any fire, see if anyone's tucked in. Didn't draw any attention, but it does give Super Valiant a chance to rotate one, so they've got 3 on site here. 18's going to be the pincer man at the doors. There's the flashes, there's the nades. They try and push around the corner, but Ank is there, and well, living up to his name, he's an anchor. Didn't get pushed, and WQ with the triple did everything he could to hold them down. Thunder peeks around the corner, doesn't land the shot, gets tagged up heavily in the process, and WQ gets 4 for the round.
Really nice crossfire on that B site from SV. They look left, there's a guy shooting them from the right. Not a whole lot you can do if you're XQ there, short of actually hitting the shot onto the first player, swinging around and hitting the second as well. But SV made it look too good and too easy, and now up 7-3 after a very, very convincing first round of that half. This is starting to look a little worrisome for XQ.
Right now, they really need to go for a quick control play over towards B2. They need to establish that they can take some sort of map presence in this scenario. It's really been tough for them. They can't seem to find the openings they need, but SV, they've stepped up big time in the second half, and looks like they are definitely set to potentially close this out here. 18 getting the opener there onto Squishy.
Thunder with the scope once again, unable to find his mark, unable to find anyone showing for him. 18 with a little peek through the smoke, but nothing showing at double doors as Fans tries to push up. Ank switched his position, he's gone close, and WQ still out wide, so they're going to try and check that corner once again. This time Ank is going to be sat ready and waiting. See if he's going to be able to pull the trigger in time. 4 of them pushing in. Flashes go past him, but he's there. Thunder will come in. He takes the damage, and they do get Dabaku down as well with a simple trade with Simida, which means they have the site now in control. They try and spray the doors up, and now in a 3-on-3 with low hit points. They are, oh my God, 18's not hanging around. He's just blitzing straight in there.
He knew exactly where that bomb planter was and decides to take advantage of that information. Great work from 18.
God.
As he just pushes in there and solo takes that bomb site. I thought that XQ were going to be able to get a good round there, but
no,
didn't matter.
That was a hold my beer moment. That was just like, I'm just going in.
Yeah.
Just like, here we go. He didn't hang around. I mean, ordinarily, you set up, you wait for your team, because his team was coming behind him, right? And you pull the 3-man push, but he just ran in and did the job. 8-3, worrisome times for XQ. I think they've got a bit of pride with those first 3 rounds, but they could do with some more here to try and make it look a closer game than it really is.
Right now, it's really going to be up to them to find some sort of take here. They haven't had any luck on their executions, but can't really blame them. SV just having incredible rotations and individual plays that carry them through these rounds. And again, you see the fearless peaks coming out from SV. N9 getting aggressive there on the catwalk. Dabaku, though, finds the first and takes down Squishy. Already another good start, but the nade comes back to trade him out.
4v4. But there's a push out from N9, as he is wont to do on this map. 18 backing him up there as well. SV have very quickly swung the favor of this round back in their own direction. 4v2, Loons and Simida, both of their positions are known. 18 closes out. Loons, or rather Simida, and it is just Loons that is left alive. Ooh, good shot from him. Needs a few more of those, but he won't be able to get the opportunity. 9 on the board now for Super Valiant, 1 round away from picking up the map victory, knocking XQ out and putting themselves through to the finals up against Penta.
I don't think anyone's going to be too surprised by this result. Super Valiant, they had a shaky game, it's safe to say, against Penta, but they are back in form, it seems, here. Fans of Squishy get themselves a lifeline, perhaps, as 18, N9 and Ank hold out in connector there. 18 sitting over on A site has been so big for them against XQ. It seems to be his flavor as N9 gets 1, gets 2. Can he make it 3? Yes, you can. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Super Valiant through to the finals against Penta as they knock XQ out of the tournament.
Just great plays overall from SV, and we really saw the individuals step up. Emzen having one of his better games, but on top of that, 18 just going off completely in that one. And the biggest thing for me is when SV can win like that with N9 being quiet, that's when you know they're scary.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking N9 up quite a lot before that first match that we saw at the start of today between SV and XQ. Like you said, Carl, he has not really stepped up at all in this tournament. He's been kind of flying under the radar, but we have seen good performances out of Emzen, we've seen good performances out of Double Q, and out of 18 in particular as well for SV. So 3 of those players definitely stepping up, and when you've got 3 out of 5 of your roster firing, essentially, that's, I think, a pretty good result.
I mean, that's the beauty of the team, right? You know, if one guy can have a bad performance, doesn't matter, you've got other superstars in there. It's not like there's one guy, if that guy doesn't show up, you're in trouble. You know, everybody else is like the support role for him effectively. Everybody there has the ability to step up, and we're seeing it. 18 flying high in that game, and unfortunately for XQ Intense, while they did get themselves those 3 rounds and suddenly took it to 4-3, and we're like, oh, maybe we could see something of an upset. Not so much an upset, but even at least a bit of pride. I think still the 3 rounds, they're going to be happy with that. It just seemed that in straightforward Angels, just as we said before, they just could not match the aggression, effectively, of Super Valiant, whereas Penta, who are walking past right now, seem to manage to not only match them, but beat them quite happily in those aggressive. And you think of the amount of 1v1, 2v2, even a 1v3, a 1v4 moment a couple of times for Creeds, whereas you compare that to, say, what's just happened against XQ Intense, they never won out any of those moments.
Yeah, well, the real question for me then is going to be what SV we're going to see stepping up against Penta now in the grand final. Obviously, that SV against Penta earlier on today, I didn't feel like was the one that we really wanted to see in that kind of a matchup. That's not the SV that's hopefully going to come into this grand final. And now that they have suffered that defeat, they're going to be able to go back, have a look at that and think, well, what did we do wrong and how can we do better?
Yeah, well, let's look at the brackets on your screen, of course, just to confirm the finals are now set. It is Penta Sports coming in as... I don't know whether it's weighted with a 1-0 lead. That's going to be interesting. I need to double check that one. I don't believe so. Against Super Valiant, of course. So a rematch of the winner bracket final. Penta, of course, came out 10-3 if you missed that one. Yes, do not adjust your sets or ears. 10-3, they beat the Chinese team, the powerhouse. Kyle, coming up with the final in just a few moments. What has to happen for either team?
I think it's ultimately going to come down to what these teams decide to ban here. I think for SV to win, they need to come out confidently with the first map. I think if they win the first map, it's pretty much theirs for the taking. But Penta, they need to be hoping they can draw a map that they're comfortable on for this first one. And I think for them to ultimately take this one, they need to be going for the 2-0 sweep here. They can't be looking for the pressure to be mounted late in the game onto SV, because when SV gets their backs against the wall, we've seen time and time again, they're a very strong team.
And obviously looking through this, obviously last match, you know, is it a case of SV were just supremely confident here? And if so, does that confident play work against Penta? Because, I mean, that's how they went into it. But then once they'd lost that first, second, third round, they started to second guess themselves, and you saw them losing out in situations you ordinarily would just expect to win.
Yeah, it definitely did not seem like the SV that I expected to see. And I wonder if they did actually go into that matchup confident, or if right from the outset, because Penta was winning so many rounds in a row and quite easily as well, if SV was just shook so hard that they didn't really have the opportunity to kind of get rolling into that map. The confidence wasn't there, and when they went up against XQ again, they were kind of like, okay, well, we've already beaten these guys, felt confident from the outset and were able to win those aim duels easily. Now are they going to come into the grand final feeling a little bit wishy-washy about this one here after suffering such a defeat against Penta? I mean, that's a question in my mind. We're going to find out, I guess, when we do get to that grand final.
Well, they're going to make the Chinese audience stay up late, ladies and gentlemen. They lost their first chance. Can they get themselves a win in the grand final? It's going to be coming up in just a moment, but first, we want to hear what Matt has to say on the stage.
That's very nice of you, Lee. Personally, I'd rather hear what Emzin has to say on stage from Super Valiant Gaming, who are in our grand finals, but the long way round, not the straightforward route that we expected a world champion team to take. So we'll just quickly ask Emzin there before you get ready for our next game. As I say, not the route to the finals we expected. We know how great SVR, we saw a really dominant performance over XG earlier, but then they lost to Penta. So are they warming up? Are they feeling like this is going to be their day?
就关键是你们为什么输给 Penta 了？就是然后你们对下一场比赛有什么样的期望和想法？
我觉得我们因为上来打的第一场比赛就是过于轻松。 然后导致了我们第二场比较放松，然后就是没有及时的进入到比赛的状态。接下来也已经进入到决赛了，希望能把刚才输的记住了，能好好打决赛。我相信我们一定会赢，一定会赢下 Penta。
Actually, I think the reason that we've lost was that we underestimated our opponent. That's the first thing, and also we were too relaxed. So. I'm pretty sure we'll be prepared for the finals, and we will win.
And you will win. All right, then. It's like that, Emzin. Okay, so you did look relaxed. While that winner's bracket game was going on, you were all back in the players' warm-up area. Everyone was on their phones. Everybody looked very relaxed. What did everybody say to each other in order to regroup and fight through that game just now?
就是你们对决赛，你们队伍期间互相说了一些什么话，对，为预热一下。
我觉得我们都打好久比赛了，然后没有什么太多说的了，就是放平心态，然后把最后一场这个波兰邀请赛 IEM 打好。我相信我的队友们，相信我自己，相信我的团队一定会赢。
Actually, there is not much we could say. We just believe in ourselves. That's the most important thing. I believe in my team. I believe in each and every one of them.
It's worked for you, Emzin. You are the two-time world champions. You won this last year. Let's see if they can do it again. We won't keep you from the grand final any longer than we have to. It will be Pentasports against Super Valiant Gaming, a rematch of the 2015 World Championship final, no less. So this is going to be a good one, and it's going to be a best of three, and it's going to be with us live here in Katowice just after this break.